ever so shortly about the why of our event, for those that may have been here for the first time. 20 years ago, in 1999, the 8th listed sponsoring organization for today's event, having been encouraged by the fact that Ukraine had signaled its intention to become a full member of the Euro-Atlantic Community Summit, with strong bilateral relations with the United States and Canada, as well as eventual membership in EU and NATO. Those 8 organizations listed in the back decided to organize an event for the ages to examine that particular decision. It was entitled Ukraine's Quest for Mature Nation Statehood. The event, now that I think of it, and one of those members of that event, Zaryckyj, may in fact be with the ambassador. That's what we're maybe waiting for. It was an event, and I see Steve Nix is here from NDI. I see Katie, IOI, NDI, Katie is here. I see Mike Zaryckyj from UNIS. I see Tamara and Andriy from UKK. All of us got together, and that was an event for the century. Because it actually, when I look at the names, it was Biggie Brzezinski, one P. Paul Wolfowitz as the counter-keynote from the Republicans. It was Boris Tarashuk morning to that. And it was Mitch McConnell for the evening. It was Sandy Levin to open and Paula Briansky to close. That was an event for the ages 20 years ago. Thank you very much. It was an event for the ages, and what it did is it convinced us that we should continue to do this kind of monitoring. In fact, monitoring what? Ukraine's quest for mature nation state. That is, its eventual entrance into the Euro-Atlantic world, whether it be strong bilateral U.S. relations or NATO membership or EU membership. And in fact, we kept doing those conferences on a strategic level, on an overarching level. We often did what? We often made sure that we stayed above the boisterous political scene in Ukraine, the ever boisterous scene. What we unkindly call the situation, local bickering. But in this super short version that I have of why we do the report card, in 2010 to 2012, for reasons known to all of us, what essentially happened is the situational ended up impinging on the overarching or strategic. There appeared a chance of real backsliding in Ukraine's quest for mature nation statehood or Euro-Atlantic status. So the same organizations agreed to create and eventually take part in a second type of forum. The other had been in October. This would be in June, every June, to closely monitor any detectable serious progress or regress, hence the annual report card. In January, February 2014, when I talked to several of the organizers, for a moment we thought that the post-Maidan Ukraine would not need a report card because we were back on track, so we no longer had to worry about regress. But all of that was not permitted by the Kremlin because the Kremlin gave us a war. And with the war came the loss of sovereignty of important parts of both East and South Ukraine. And so the organizers kept a report card going. This year's report card, and to put it in context, is going to be particularly important. And I realized that everybody who said that they would come on that program is in fact today coming, which is quite great. And in fact, why is it so particularly important? Because this year, post-Maidan Ukraine has a post-Maidan government in the making. And that certainly will be an important piece of our discussion today. With that, that's my little spiel to begin. And simply the rules of the game. And I'll repeat them one more time very shortly, and that's for the timekeepers as well. The rules of the game, we modified one thing, the format. We went from a chair and 4 panelists to a chair and 3 panelists, because we realized we wanted to give more time. The panelists themselves and the chair in our new model are all graders. They will all give grades. So those that are chairs and you're hearing this, they will also have to, at the end, give a grade for Ukraine in terms of its progress and regress. Great progress being 5, 4, less progress, stalemate 3, and then regress 2, and serious regress 1. Now, for the speakers themselves, word of welcome 10 to 15. For the keynotes, 15 to 18 to 20. The moderators will get 5 at the beginning. And they will have 5, or they can have the right of first question to the panelist graders. Then each of the panelists and graders will have 10 to 12 minutes. And there will be one round of discussion for about 15 minutes. If there's time for another, and I'm asking those that are the moderators to keep to that, because we really truly have a very full program today. What I would say is, in the last 2 minutes, the moderators themselves ought to stop the discussion and simply ask for each of the graders and themselves to give the grade. We will be, the tally master is Tamara Gallo, who will read the grades at the end. You can also notice that we put it into the brochure. In the 10th page, you have the grade sheet, and you can follow as well. So if we do an inaccuracy, because it's important for us each year, then we have that. We've steadily had grades from year to year, and Tamara will present all those grades after Ambassador Volker's final speech today. We end with Ambassador Volker. We start with another very important ambassador, perhaps the most key ambassador we've had in the last 10, 15 years, because he was there when, in terms of the war and what had happened and the help that Ukraine has gotten, he's been there on the front line with us. Ambassador Charlie, it is a pleasure to always introduce you.
Thank you, Walter. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, дорогі українці, дорогі друзі і делегація з України, гості з України. Я щойно також приїхав, вибачте, трошки пізніше. Наша делегація працює депутатів, і вони приєднаються трохи пізніше до участі в конференції. As always, I'd like to praise efforts of the Center for US-Ukrainian Relations, and namely Walter Zaryckyj, for organizing regular high-level and substantial discussion on Ukraine in the capital of the United States. I extended my gratefulness to Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, American Foreign Policy Council, US-Ukraine Foundation, and other organizations who contributed to organize this event and to keeping Ukraine on radars in the United States. It is important that we regularly hold this discussion, boosting substance of the US-Ukraine relations. Today, annual report card for Ukraine consists of several landmark bullet points. First, our nation proved that it is a major electoral democracy holding free and fair presidential election and ensuring democratic and transparent transition of power. Second, our foreign policy course is irreversible, and Ukraine steadily moves towards the European and Euro-Atlantic integration. First foreign visit of President Zelensky to Brussels and meetings with EU and NATO leadership send a strong signal about the consistency of our foreign policy and security. We are encouraged with the development of the US-Ukraine strategic partnership. The recent letter of invitation from President Trump to President Zelensky became a strong message of support to free and prosperous Ukraine, its territorial integrity, and Euro-Atlantic integration. There are many positive news and results. Most of them were achieved through aligning our efforts with the Ukrainian American community and with support from the US Congress and administration. We have many victories, just this official position, I read it, but now I want to add my comments on our priorities and what we plan to do in the very next month, very important period for the country. Ukraine still not finalized the process of breaking ties with the Soviet era, with the previous periods, and a very painful process. We go through three very important tracks. First, it's finalized creation of Ukrainian political nation. It doesn't mean only Ukrainians, no. It's Russians who serve from the very beginning of Russian aggression, defend the front line sovereignty of Ukraine. Russian-speaking people, but it's Ukrainians, Ukrainian patriots. So people of different nationalities, including Jews, Polish, Belarus, and other nationalities, Crimea Tatars, who is a stand firm for the sovereignty of this country, my native country, Ukraine, the biggest country in Europe, by the way, and very important country for guarantee security in Europe. The second track is our Euro-Atlantic track. For this Euro-Atlantic, European track, people in Ukraine, our heroes, live their lives. In 2014, Nебесная Сотня, hundreds, several hundreds, in that time. After that, in the front line. So I can't imagine that anyone can change this moving back to the prosperity, to our historic roots in Europe. Culturally, historically, politically, we are in Europe, but not yet part of the European security system, despite we make many things together with our Western alliance, and not yet member of any organization like EU or NATO. That's a transition period for Ukraine. That's why when our delegation now work and meet with senators and representatives, they propose to fix this our willingness and until membership Ukraine to NATO have a special status. We propose now for US government, US administration, consider to make Ukraine as MNNA, major non-NATO ally. And we appreciate this. Now we have draft of law legislation in the US Congress with a very strong message. Give Ukraine this status MNNA until Ukraine be member of NATO. I think it's a very important position because it could be a strong political message that the United States with Ukraine, it's open additional opportunity for us in military technical coverage. Be frank with you, we now not fulfill this status in our military technical cooperation, but we're doing very, very good in all our efforts. And with the United States, we appreciate as the United States provide Ukraine lethal defensive weapons, and now we discuss even more and go further on this track. And third, it's not less important, transition period in Ukraine, it's like an option and challenge for us. We see in the list of parties who prepared for snap election, parliamentary election, absolutely new faces. So this idea of bringing new faces to Ukrainian politics, to open new opportunities, we call this like elevators that bring you from down to up, to make happen your dream, to impact on the real politics. On the one thing, very important, not destroy these roofs, because it's the speed of this elevator very high. It can be like a rocket and nothing in result. So it's just my comments on that. And this very important thing, how combine this idea, this motivation of young people with professionalism and in the different spheres. I believe it's happening. And we count on your support who is in Ukraine for expertise, from the United States also meeting with Ukraine counterparts, just it's educated in some reasons, educated on how to develop the country with US experience, because US have the same experience that Ukraine, with fighting corruption, creating security system, building democracy. But this happened 200 years ago. It was, or 120 years ago. If you read Theodore Dreiser books, you understand this was a not easy period for the United States. Fighting corruption, make freedom of media. By the way, George Washington as President of the United States, he will not think about the Congress. I mean, not the Congress, but by party system, Democratic and Republicans. they not only even not plan to have another party who will compete and propose something we have in Ukraine now. The idea to keep in all the responsibilities. But my take is, I saw this for a long time in Ukraine. We need competition. We need balance of power. We need strong and based on legislation, very good legislation, our system, judicial system. We need in the media not only investigation project, anti-corruption project, but also serious discussion about security. By the way, it's now not enough. This means 10 minutes or 10 seconds. By the way, good job. Every conference, I like this. Professionals. They keep this line every time. Thank you. I will be sure to. So this is a tendency in the world that's underestimated of importance of geopolitical and security issues. Many nations, including Ukraine, now focus mostly on internal issues. From one hand, it's good because it's about people, jobs, salaries, pensions, everything. But sorry, if you're not secure the country, not secure life of people, it's not even you can think about something else. I remember 2014 when many people from Donbass came to Kyiv, from Donetsk, from Lugansk, and the building next to mine, by the way, very big building just built in Ukrainian downtown, was fulfilled. All the people that had come from this region. First time they're waiting for something. After that, take vacation for 4 months and go to Thailand and everywhere. So okay. After that, we discussed that after half of year at the beginning of war, and they said it's not our responsibility. We will not fight. But finally, I know. Now they back to this territory, release territory, closer to the touchline, and produce equipment for our military forces. That's a change of mind. Because the only way how you want to live in prosperity and you be in a condition that you are expecting to secure yourself, secure your country. That's important, put this thesis first. And this is another challenge for us, because if you check the list of our parties, not so many veterans among or volunteers among the candidates for membership in our parliament. That's different from the situation, because we have 300,000 veterans. 300,000, can you imagine? And you know the figures, unfortunately, there's a big price that we paid in this war and still under attack, and our guys in the prisoners of war in Russia, our sailors is grabbed after the direct attack against our navy. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And sometimes people want to create illusion. It's something that's happened far from us. Okay, Syria is far from the United States. North Korea, probably it's closer because missiles, but it's a long distance. The same in Ukraine. Kyiv, many Kyivans think that this temporary occupied territories represent. It's far from that. Ukraine, big country, that's true. It's not the distance involved them not thinking about war, but in the fact the war is there, not change. That's why why I remind that we understand, everybody understand that we combine our force to achieve peace on the diplomatic way, improving capabilities of Ukrainian Navy, Army, and Air Force. Now, by the way, it's very important because in Congress, in the resolution, new resolution, include also this new point, anti-air system. We're not negotiated yet, but I believe this will be the next step for Ukraine, US, military and technical cooperation. We should be prepared better. We should go faster. We should predict the next developments in the world. Economic development rises. Nobody can answer you when it's happening, but it can have significant impact on all the decisions of all countries. We believe that our analytical structures and strategies thinking seriously about midterm perspective, not only immediate for the United States, this election. 2020, immediate for the Ukraine is even closer and shorter period. Our politicians think only about the election period, not the midterm perspective. My idea, my take, we need to think more about future, because if we make the right thing now, we will secure us, we will give an impulse, not only for Ukraine, but all the region. European region now very important, security in Europe very important, Black Sea, Baltic Sea, Russian behavior, not less important than Middle East and North Korea and Venezuela. So we expected many new things in the very next future. And you will see surprises from Ukraine, you will see some surprises from G20, or not. I will not have surprises. I want to go this track, but much better, faster, with reforms, with security issues, with everything that we did a lot of time together. So thank you so much for our cooperation, and I believe our efforts based on our common values will give us not only chance, but real opportunity to live into the 21st century in peace, peacefully with all the nation, but if we want to achieve that, we need to be strong enough now. Thank you for your attention. I read the conference.